English Rise Podcast.
Easy listening and speaking practice. Welcome to the English Rise Podcast. Easy English listening and speaking practice to help you build fluency and confidence. I'm Emma. Quick question to start. Have you ever watched a video, read an article, understood almost everything, and then when it's your turn to speak, your mind goes blank? Sentences slow down, or you start translating word by word and it all feels stuck? If that sounds like you, stick around. Today, we'll ask a provocative question. Is your English bad, or is your brain just not trained for speaking yet? And more importantly, how do you actually train your brain so speaking becomes smoother and more natural? I've invited someone who turns neuroscience into simple, practical practice. Alex, welcome back.
Thanks, Emma. Great to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. I coach learners who can understand English well, but can't get words out quickly and comfortably. I want to start with reassurance. This happens to nearly every intermediate learner I meet. It's not that your English is bad, it's that the speaking system in your brain hasn't had the right kind of practice yet. That's fixable. Today, we'll break it down step by step and give you simple, repeatable exercises you can start using today.
Perfect. Okay, let's open with a little scene. Picture this. You're in a meeting, your boss asks for your opinion, and suddenly your mind feels empty. You can hear others speaking clearly, but when you try to answer, your words come out slowly and you worry about grammar. The shame, the fear, the silence. It's familiar to so many listeners. So, Alex, why does that happen? Why can't we understand but not speak?
It's a great question, Emma. The simplest way to say it, your brain has different systems for understanding input and for producing language. Listening and reading train receptive systems. You build large stores of vocabulary and patterns without practicing the motor and planning side of speaking. Speaking requires three linked processes: input, what you've learned; storage, how it's stored in memory as words and chunks; and output, the ability to retrieve and say it quickly. Many learners spend most time on input: videos, textbooks, podcasts. Those build knowledge, but automatic output, the habit of using phrases instantly, needs direct, repeated practice that matches the real task of speaking. Speaking requires three linked processes: input, what you've learned; storage, how it's stored in memory as words and chunks; and output, the ability to retrieve and say it quickly. Many learners spend most time on input: videos, textbooks, podcasts. Those build knowledge. But automatic output, the habit of using phrases instantly, needs direct, repeated practice that matches the real task of speaking.
So it's like having a library full of books, but no librarian to hand you the right book quickly. You know where everything is, but finding it in the moment takes too long.
Exactly, Emma. And to add, there are two types of knowledge in the brain. You have conscious knowledge, rules, translations, grammar, and automatic patterns, ready-made phrases, and muscle memory for speaking. When you translate in your head, you're using conscious knowledge. That's slow. Fluency is when the automatic patterns take over, so your brain doesn't need to assemble sentences from scratch.
That resonates. I want to pause there and make this clear for listeners. Being fluent doesn't mean perfect grammar or knowing every word. Fluency, in our definition, means you can express ideas smoothly at natural speed. Right, Alex?
Right. Fluency is the ability to communicate with flow. Slight mistakes are okay. They're part of learning. The real goal is automaticity. The brain reacting quickly with appropriate phrases and structures so you can focus on meaning, not on translating each word.
Okay, many of our listeners translate from their first language. They'll think a sentence in L1 and convert it to English. Why does that slow things down so dramatically? Can you give simple examples, Alex?
Sure. Translating introduces an extra mental step. Instead of thinking directly in English, you map an idea into English words. That takes time and splits attention between languages. For example, a Spanish speaker might think, "Estoy en la luna," then pause to translate to "I'm on the moon," which in English often means distracted or daydreaming, not literally being on the moon. The literal translation can create confusion or unnatural phrasing. Another example, in some languages, people say, "My name is called," and then translate, "My name is called Emma," which sounds awkward in English. Native speakers usually say, "My name is Emma," or "I'm Emma." That extra translation step causes hesitations and choices that slow speech.
I love those examples. They show how translation can also lead to strange phrasing. So, how do we move from translating to thinking in English?
You start by training your brain to use ready-made chunks, phrases that are stored as units. Instead of building subject plus verb plus object every time, your brain learns, for example, "I'm not sure, but that reminds me of." To be honest, these chunks reduce the words you need to construct consciously. They act like scaffolding. You also change your question from "What is this in English?" to "How would a native speaker say this?" That mindset helps you look for natural chunks rather than single words.
Emma to Alex, can you share one or two easy exercises our listeners can try today to notice when they're translating and to start practicing thinking in English?
Absolutely. One simple exercise, the translation catch. For one conversation or during a 5-minute self-talk, notice when you translate. Pause and say the idea out loud in English using any simple phrase you know. If you don't know the exact wording, use a chunk. "I think that," or "I'm not sure, but." The goal is to stop the translation loop and speak with whatever chunk you have. Second exercise, chunk rewriting. Pick a short paragraph you understood in English, a social post, a script, a news snippet. Replace single words with ready chunks and read it aloud, focusing on the rhythm. That conditions your mouth and brain to work with phrases.
Nice. Listeners, try those now if you can, just for 1 minute. Okay, moving on. Building automatic phrases. Tell me about the kinds of chunks learners should collect. What should be in a My English Phrases note?
Fill that note with high-frequency, flexible chunks. Examples, at the end of the day. To be honest, that depends on. I've been meaning to. Actually, I think. By the way, what do you think about? Can you explain that a bit more? These are useful because they open conversations, express opinions, and keep you speaking while giving your brain a little extra time to shape the rest of the sentence. The important part is to practice using them in your own life. Make short sentences about your day with each chunk. Don't just copy them, personalize them. Write, "By the way, I tried a new coffee shop today," not just the chunk alone.
And how do we train those chunks so they come out automatically? You mentioned repetition in real or simulated situations. Give us a practical list.
Sure. 3 action items. 1. Short daily shadowing. Pick a 20-30-second clip from a podcast or video, listen once, then repeat along with the speaker, matching rhythm and stress. Do this for 5 minutes. 2. Phrases note practice. Each day, choose 5 phrases, say each phrase aloud, then make 2 to 3 personal sentences with them. 3. Real reuse. Use one phrase with a real person, a colleague, a friend, or even in a voice note. That's the critical transfer step. The brain links the phrase to a real communicative context and strengthens retrieval under pressure.
Listeners, don't collect words. Collect phrases. Your brain can fire quickly. I'll say it again. Don't collect words. Collect phrases. Alex, some people worry they'll sound scripted if they use chunks too much. What do you say?
Good question. In the beginning, chunks can sound a bit formulaic, but that's okay. Native speakers also use chunks all the time. The goal is to get comfortable, then vary and expand. Think of chunks as training wheels. At first, they help you ride. Later, you remove them and ride smoothly. Over time, you'll combine different chunks, add your own words, and sound natural. More importantly, you'll be communicating confidently.
I want to talk about emotions now. Many learners freeze because of nerves. The fear system in the brain actually makes it harder to speak. Alex, explain briefly how anxiety affects speaking and give us calming, brain-friendly strategies.
When we feel anxious, the brain shifts resources to the amygdala, the emotional center, and reduces the working memory and language planning capacity. That's why you suddenly blank out or find only simple words. To counter this, use very low-pressure exposure and micro goals. Practice speaking alone out loud. Describe your morning. Narrate your actions while doing dishes, or record a 1-minute voice message about something small. Do short, repeatable tasks under mild pressure. Ask one question in a meeting. Say one opinion in a group chat. Send one voice note to a friend each day. Also, prepare safe openers you can rely on when nerves hit. By the way, what do you think about? Sorry, could you say that more slowly? I'm not sure, but I'd like to add. These reduce the cognitive load and give you time.
That idea of micro goals is powerful. Instead of aiming to speak perfectly for 20 minutes in a meeting, aim to ask one question. Small wins build confidence. Could you give an example of a low-pressure speaking exercise someone could do at home in 5 minutes?
Sure. 5-minute speaking sprint. 60 seconds. Choose a chunt like, to be honest, and say it 3 times in different sentences. 120 seconds. Shadow a short clip and repeat lines aloud, focusing on rhythm. 60 seconds, record a 1-minute voice message answering a simple question. What was the best part of your day? 60 seconds, listen back and pick one sentence to repeat with better rhythm. The total is 5 minutes. It's small, but daily repetition rewires retrieval pathways in your brain.
Love that. Okay, let's put everything together as a realistic, repeatable daily routine, your 15-minute brain workout for fluency. Walk us through it, Alex.
Happy to. The routine is built to be short and brain-friendly. Step 1, 5 minutes, listening plus shadowing. Choose a clear, short clip. Listen once, then repeat with the speaker. Focus on chunk rhythm rather than perfect pronunciation. Step 2, 5 to 10 minutes, phrase and chunk training. Review 5-10 useful phrases from your notes. Say each phrase out loud, then make 2 to 3 personal sentences using those phrases. Step 3, 5 minutes, active speaking. Record a 1-minute voice message about your day, your opinion, or a question. Send it to a friend or keep it. The full routine is flexible. If you only have 10 minutes, do shadowing and one chunk. The key is consistency. Small daily practice beats rare long sessions.
Listeners, track one simple metric, minutes of real speaking this week. Not hours of passive listening, real speaking minutes. That metric changes the way you study because it focuses on output, which is the thing your brain needs to train.
Exactly. And one more practical tip on tracking. Keep a simple calendar or note where you put a check mark for each day you did the 15-minute routine. Progress is motivating. Your brain likes patterns. Seeing a streak builds momentum.
Before we recap, let's do a quick role play so listeners can hear these chunks in a short, natural exchange. Alex, I'll start. I'll use the chunk "by the way." Ready?
Ready.
By the way, Alex, I tried your shadowing technique yesterday, and it actually helped me say the phrase without thinking.
That's great to hear, Emma. To be honest, I felt the same when I first started practicing chunks. They gave me time to think of the next idea. What do you think about adding a quick question opener to our routine?
I think it's useful. What do you think about asking, "Could you explain that a bit more," as a safe opener in meetings?
Perfect! That opener buys you time, sounds natural, and invites help. Use it.
Short, simple, and real. Okay, recap time. Alex, give us the 4 key points quickly.
Okay, recap time. Alex, give us the 4 key points quickly. 1. Fluency is a trainable brain habit, not an innate talent. 2. Move from translating to thinking in English by using ready-made chunks. 3. Calm, repeated speaking practice under mild pressure trains automaticity. 4. A short daily routine, shadowing, phrase training, and active speaking rewires the brain faster than irregular long sessions.
And here's one very small challenge for today. Choose one new phrase from this episode, maybe "by the way," or "to be honest," and say it out loud 3 times before the end of the day. Use it in a sentence about your life. That's it, one tiny habit.
Yes, and remember, mistakes are normal and useful. Every time you try, you're strengthening pathways in your brain. Think of practice like small weights for a muscle. It's slow at first, but it becomes stronger with regular, calm repetition.
Thank you for listening today. Remember, learning English takes time, and that's okay. You are training your brain step by step, and every minute of real practice counts. If you enjoyed this episode, come back again and keep practicing. We'll keep learning together. Easy listening, better speaking, rise higher. See you in the next episode.